Okay, I'm on live tonight. Oh, those on Facebook, welcome. We're just waiting for people to live stream before we have our fireside chat. And just to catch up tonight on the second night of the week, on beautiful Tuesday night, where I stay around the corner. It's a clubhouse. It's pizza night. Buy one, get one free pizza. So I don't know who's having pizza tonight, but I'm not having pizza. My throat is still lekker and pain. It feels like it's swollen here. Oh, it's quite not a nice experience. But if you're out there, let me know in the chat box where you're from. Never miss a moment. Hi, Alida. Nice to see you there. And yeah, I'm sitting down and getting ready to share a little bit. You can hear my nose is still blocked a little bit. And hi, Sam. Nice to see you on Instagram. That you are live and looking. And yeah, Sam, interesting. She sent me a photo tonight of the two little kids dressing up as Vikings and standing by my book cover and saying, we follow the legend, the Viking. And so, yeah, that's so nice to see all the kids dressing up as Viking. So excited to share a little bit. Interesting. People ask me, what that flowers is. For those who can't see, on TikTok, there's flowers. That's what I got when I came down Kilimanjaro, just to celebrate the climb of Kilimanjaro. So I actually still have it and still remind myself about my journey of climbing Kili. Now, I'm just giving charms. I say, Rudolph, nice to see you on Instagram. And Tanya, nice to have you here. So please let me know before we get going tonight and just having a chat. Apart from winter season being over almost, as we're getting ready for the next season. I see Petrus is on his here. He's a farmer and he understands everything about seasons. Everything is all about seasons, right? On broer, and to see how's you and your wife doing. I hope I get invited to the wedding, or maybe you should ask first. But I can marry you as well, brother. If you ever wanted someone to marry you, I cannot do the legal stuff anymore, but I can still do the ceremony. So if you want that, hi Kapi. So those on Facebook, welcome. Just want to check, am I live? Where am I live streaming at the moment? Just want to make sure. Okay, so WhateverItTakes, all of them, Instagram is running. Okay, for some reason, one or two channels don't want to run, but it's okay. Hi, Carla. Ons doen goed en jy sal genooi word. Ja, so Petrus, when are we having a braai, man? I would love to meet your other half and your family. So apart from being single and not having someone, and that's probably why my hair still looks like that, don't have someone to be able to help me, so I have to do it myself. Being single, it's being single at 40. It's like playing hide and seek. They never find you. And now, Alana, nice to have you, Alana, it's nice to have you. Yo, I see my Facebook views tonight is high. That's going up. Let's see, Daisy. I wonder what's happening if I'm but nobody's watching YouTube. I wonder if YouTube is live tonight. Let's just check. Okay, YouTube is streaming. I see everyone. Hello, Obi-Wan Kenobi. Nice to have you here. Petrus laughs at me, man. Can't laugh at me, Peter. Hello, Gary Kutsia. Nice to see you, Gary. It's nice to have everyone watching in. And inflatables. Marnie Klopper. Marnie, are you there? Marnie, this is how I look like. And I wonder if you can see, I'm on TikTok as well, Marnie. And if you want to see me, I'm looking forward to meeting you in person. So just a shout out to you, Marnie. God is good. And it's amazing what you shared with me today about how God touched you and impact. And I think that's what it's about. It's celebrating these moments of what God does in moments of uncertainty, moments of challenges that we go through on a daily basis. And sometimes we don't see the light, but it's to realize the light will come, that if we walk by faith, it's all about walking by faith every day. Because the world has negative news. We are in different seasons, and everyone is in a different season in their life. And I was just reading another a news someone shared with me today, is that a company by the name of Italtal closed down after 110 years. So it's not only Italtal now it's closed down, Marion Roberts is closed down. Goodyear after 80 years is closed down. A few mines are shutting down. It's sometimes if we out there, everything is just getting negative news over negative news. And then we forget to look at the small positives. And I see Sam van Vieren says how awesome kids that is. And so she made my night by sharing. She bought my book a while back in an event. And tonight she sent me photos of two of the boys she's on to dressing up as Vikings and standing with my book and celebrating, my book and saying, Kobus, you're a legend. And at the same time, Sam, just to shout out to you as well, someone sent me a photo of their daughter at 10 years old doing a project for school. And interesting for the school project, she said she did a project around inspiring South African leaders. And guess who they chose? They chose me. And so I felt honored today. And by looking at this, is that there's always good news around. People do look at us. They look up to us. They look at our journey and what we're going through. And sometimes we don't see that. We don't see that people are looking at us. And I think that's the one thing is to realize is even though you compare yourself to others and where others are and what they're going through, is not to compare yourself with that. And Sam says, how cool was that? And Sam, yeah, that was amazing. And thank you for being here tonight. It's really, and your story, Sam, is just inspiration. Sam said with me, I'm not going to share it, but she said with me something personal a few weeks ago after she walked on fire for the first time. And finding out news that week, and then the opposite happened. And sometimes we face our mountains that we have to climb, right? And she had to climb a mountain. And I mean, that's the one thing is we all climb mountains. We all face uncertainty in our life. However, is that the only thing that we have control about is the moments that we live in, and that's now. We can only control this moment. And we can try to change things around. We can try to make different decisions, but that's where the power lies. Is the power lies in that we have the power to make choice. My question usually, you're welcome to share, Sam, 100%. I will share it at the right time, but thank you for that. Sam was just inspirational, having a scare and through the doctors, and then the test came back. It was clear there was nothing, and just another day another day moving forward and walking by faith. That's what I'm all about. People ask me usually what I believe, and for those who don't know, I respect all religions, right? I respect all people's belief and faith. I love them with the big heart, with all my heart. However, my foundation will always be Jesus Christ, will always be the foundation of what I believe. And for me, is the only thing that pays it forward is love. I can just love you and care for you, and I want you to love me the same way. And I'm not here I'm here to live my purpose, and that purpose is then to make a difference. And so we all have a purpose in life. And I believe that I've been called to do this. In my book in the back is 3 prophecies that was given to me to do what I do today. I only walk by faith. Someone asked me, Kobus, how come you are so busy and getting business, and you're on stages? I say, apart from marketing is that I have a, how can I say, I have an agreement with God that if He wants me to do this, He has to provide. I can't do this by myself, and only with His provision and providing I can do this. Love and kindness goes a long way. Yes, Sam. Thank you for that. Yeah. And I can only do what I do today because of him. And the people that I touch and impact and inspire, it's not my own doing. It's the impact or the power that God has given me to be able to do what I do today. I do my best to be authentic and to be real. However, I can just be me. I think one thing about these lives that I'm doing, this is where I share my truth. This is where I share my philosophy, my beliefs, the way I see the world, and to share the love with people and say, no matter where you are loved, you are cared for. In Zulu, we have words that say "Sawubona," that means I see you, and you're not alone. And so someone just sent me a message on Facebook, and I just want to read it. He's helped me through every bad stroke in 2023 and a seizure in 2024, an embolism, clots on my lungs. I should not have survived, but through God, all things are possible. I'm currently back in hospital undergoing various tests, and I know I need to cast aside my fear and anxiety. Watching your inspiring video from the hospital bed. Hailey, sending you hugs. I know it's not easy, but this is where we walk in faith. Is that I got a message now this evening from someone on YouTube that shared their video. And in their video, they shared how they were at death's bed as well. And they ended up being at one of my events in 2019 that changed their life. Actually, it's amazing that she created an Instagram video and a full YouTube video about how one moment, and it can be a video like this for you, Hailey. But for her, it was that moment when she listened to my story and she went and walked on fire. Her whole life transformed. And yeah, and I believe Sam would say the same. That is on you as well. And for those who are listening, so I just yeah, we send them all our love and light. Yes, Sam, I totally agree with you. And I think that's what it is. Can you stand up? What do you stand for? What is your top 3 values in your life? Do you know what your top 3 values is? Just a shout out to everyone that's just been joining. Yvonne, and nice to see you, Yvonne, Stefan, Elizabeth, Renee, Mr. 80% Jim, Rowan, Yakels, Amelia, Sunelo. There's a few people that has been coming in and going. And yeah, anyone wants to join me on a live, send me a message. I can maybe add you to join me in my live, and we can have a discussion. But yeah. So what's happening in your world today? What's good news? Lyndon has joined. So a lot is happening in the world that can impact our minds and our thought processes and our energy level, our belief systems. We have to realize that we either going to allow this to impact us, or we need to adapt. It's how fast can we adapt when we see the signals and the signs, and can we settle for that? I met with someone this morning that was together with someone for a year. She found out he had another relationship, and broke her heart. Was like in a bad space, and doesn't know, should she go on, should she move, should she forgive? And the one thing that I realized is, the older we get in relationships that we come with, we all have these expectations because of that social media, and those on social media are telling us about how men should be, how women should be. And if you've been cheated on, you have to be in your boundaries, and every single person is a narcissist. And if they're not a narcissist, then they're probably a psychopath. And if they're not a psychopath, they're an avoider, or they're a mama's boy, or they're too in their masculine, or too much masculinity, and or too much feminism, or all of these ABC language. All of that is out there. And sitting there, I realized we all bring baggage. So yeah, long day. Is we all have baggage, and we carry that baggage with us from different relationships. And when you were 20 years old, you were two different people coming together, had no really history, just came out of school. You can start dating, you can start formulate your life, your thought processes, everything going forward. But the thing is, the older we get so set in our ways and the way we do things, we don't take time to really adapt. And then we create all of these triggers that gets triggered when someone does something. And it's so the older we get, the more challenging it gets to formulate those relationships. And I find it with myself. We all have something that is experienced in our life that we bring with us. And and then I made the joke when we started this program, is like, dating in your 40s is like hide and seek. You are hiding and nobody finds you. And yeah, that's been a thing for me, is how do you find the right person then? Because everyone has something that they bring with. It's different expectations, different rules and boundaries. And everyone says, Kobus, yeah, you don't have good boundaries, Kobus. But according to who? This is all about truth. What if my boundaries and I'm happy with it? What if I'm in a happy place and I just want to be me and make a difference? And I think that's the thing, is we think we need to conform to what the world wants. Mohammed says, yeah, the worst part about those curated reels is that half the time people behind those accounts aren't even that of what they speak about. Okay, so I'm not sure. I think I forgot what we were speaking there. And hey, Andrea Bogner, man, it was so nice to see you, Andrea. If you're there, I'm just sending you my love and hugs, and can't wait to one day catch up with you and your husband and little Cal L. As that it's the only thing that we do in the end of the day is to work on ourselves and to work on certain values and standards. And what is those values and standards? And one for me is to follow it. Some would say, it's old school values. It's old school, but is it old school, or is it just not? Have we just lost respect? Have we lost loyalty? Have we lost trust? Have we lost not being able to forgive easily? Have we lost, the Bible talks about unconditional love. Love is forgiveness. Love is, patience. What is love? Loving yourself first. Mary, you're like the 10th one that's saying that to me tonight. And I've seen our videos as well. Spoke to 2 people, and they talk about writing affirmations on their mirror in the bathroom. So they every day, I'm a genius. I love myself. I'm beautiful. And I'm just been seeing these videos all around. And I think that's the thing, is, to love is, do you want to give to others, is you first have to get your cup full and fill your cup so that you are able to give to others. And Mary spoke to me this afternoon, and Ireland's, and I don't know if she's answered me, and we spoke about gentlemen. And I asked her, what is a gentleman? I'm speaking now old school and all of that, but what is a gentleman? Anyone knows here? Does that still exist? Someone said, a good guy that is understanding and patience. Okay, so if a guy has that, does that make him a gentleman? And I think that's maybe a question to ask. What makes a gentleman? What makes a good man today? What makes a good woman today? All of the women out there have a certain perception of what they want from men. But are they showing up on the right way as well? Are they that perfect woman a lady. Maybe I should say a lady. You get a gentleman and you get a lady. Now, are the ladies showing up as a lady? So Mary Shepherd says, "My gentleman." So what is a my gentleman, Mary? Tell me what's your my gentleman. Come on, explain to me in beautiful English. Mr. Dongo. I see Mr. Dongo has just arrived on Instagram. While I'm waiting for Mary to tell me and for any of you to tell me what is a gentleman. Mr. Dongo and I am doing an event coming now in a month's time. We're doing a live stream, me and him and another speaker. We're going to do an online summit, full day of prepping you for 2025 and making 2025 a great year. So there's still time, even though there's a quarter left of this year that we can still make a difference. So Haley says, opening the door for you, respect, acts of kindness, words of affirmation. So Haley, it sounds like that is your love language, by the way. Interesting. Opening the door for you. I a while back opened the door for a lady and she said, "Hey, I'm independent enough. I can open my own door." It was like, okay, I just wanted to be nice. So even the women are not allowing you to be a gentleman. So on that fact, respect. What is respect? Acts of kindness. Okay, definitely words of affirmation, recognition. So what is a lady then? If a man has to be all of that, nobody speaks about what ladies should be. What should a lady be? Should she be soft? I see Sam here says, okay, let's see what Sam says. Sam says, love is about to love yourself. Fill your own cup. When your cup is full, you will be able to love other. Need to love yourself before you love other. 100%, Sam. You can only love others the way you love yourself. I see Instagram is a little bit slower than what I'm speaking. But again, what is a lady? As a lady should dress like ladylike. Should handle in public, should be upstanding, should be someone with morals, with someone with make food for the man, open the door. No, I'm just joking. I'm gonna get in trouble if I say what women should be old school, only stay-at-home moms, cooking meals, cleaning the house. Is that what a lady is about? I see I have a lot of ladies. Hopefully they don't take me on about what I'm saying. Please, it's just a joke. What I say, what ladies are about. But what is a lady? I see Mary says, yes. Well, Mary, I hear what you say, but it's not to say that's the truth. Opening a door. Do women still want the man to open a door? Because I don't think it happens. And if it happens, they say, I can do it myself. Have men been impacted? Now, can I share with you something interesting? It's a little bit off the topic because I see nobody is really commenting. God sent, Williams is a God sent woman. Yeah, to procreate, right? To make babies. Interesting, in China, people say the population is actually half of compared to what people think it is. So let's say they say it's 1.4 billion people that have been promoting on the world figures. But according to someone's on YouTube that I saw today, no, it's YouTube, so it's taken with a grain of sand, but it makes sense. They say for population to keep stable, you have to have 2 babies. Every woman has to have, average population growth is 2.1 babies. To double your population is about 3 to 4 babies, right? Now, China had for 55 years, they had a one baby policy. Now, if you think about that, they only put that away in 2015. Then you could have 2 kids. And I think 2019, they changed it. You can have as many as you want to. They say the real population of China is around 700 million. Now, I don't know if anyone would agree with me on that. But I started going down. I asked ChatGPT. I've Googled from sources in Japan, from sources into Russia, South Korea. A lot of international sources are saying that China's population is half of what it really is. And And the interesting thing about that is that the women and the kids today in China doesn't want to have families. Now that's there. Japan's population is there's more. They're selling more adult diapers than baby diapers. By the way, they're making old schools that used to be schools. They're now making old age facilities. South Korea is going down. So I see Mary says it's 1.4 billion. I hear you, Mary, but according to other sources I've been finding, it's half of that. And they say China has inflated the number. And it makes sense. If you're only having one baby for 55 years, that population is going to have an impact. That bottom part that used to be bottom is in the middle that only had one, they're becoming older. There's not really, there's a small gap. And then the younger generation doesn't want to have kids. Think about where you live, Mary, in Ireland and in the West. Populations are actually decreasing on the Western front. I'm talking about the white population side of the world is really decreasing at the moment. And it's mainly those who are having three, four, five kids that are really, think about the cultures that are having that more than three kids, and what impact that's going to have in the world in the next 20 to 30 years. Now, why am I also sharing this is that we should be more really open on what is happening in the world. you know India might be a next superpower. They're already in a superpower, but they're going to be a big superpower one day because they're really flooding the earth. They are having kids left, right, and center. Africa is having kids. So Africa is having always have that boom, where the West and some of the Eastern countries are actually going down. And what will this dynamics be in the next 50 years? Now, it might not impact us per se so big. However, it will impact our next generations definitely, and the way the world will be going. We won't know the world. I've seen videos now in London and Paris and Rome and Germany, how things have transitioned and changed. Already have changed just in the last 20 years. When I was last in London compared to now, it's totally different. And the rules and everything coming in and changing. So it's interesting in the time frame that we're living in. So I just want to see if anyone sent anything. Joined, ask him. Okay, a few people have joined. So, okay. Let's just check here. Anyone else have said something? Okay. Looks like nothing at the moment. Like I said, I'm doing this as every night just to stay. Please like, comment, and follow me. Let me know where you are from and where you're from watching. I see YouTube, someone is watching, so that's good. Facebook people, Hailey says cleanliness is godliness. Yep, I totally agree with you on that, Hailey. Hi, Mr. Rockstar, sales coach. Nice to see you. I loved your live, by the way, last night. You had an awesome live on Paul FM. So it's nice. Joan van Wyk, hi there. Nice to see you, Joan. So, yeah, you all have been missing a lot about my talk, but, give me a like, follow, and share. Joan, I'm doing good. Where are you from, John? Because I see your photo, but I don't know. Have we met before? You look familiar. Peyton Parrish. Wow. Man, Peyton, if you're still there, you're one kind of guy. I'm your fan, man. The Viking is here and he says, love you, brother. Peyton Parrish. That's amazing, that he came through and watched. Right now, I'm not in Paul at the moment, but the Rockstock sales coach is. He does a weekly live radio show in Paul. So Francois, he's in times when I needed someone to inspire me, he was there inspiring me. So I'm really good. Joan says he's from Paul. Joan, I've been there a few times, and one of my friends, Dion Davids, he's a coach of the Springbok, stays there. I've been on Paul FM myself. I'm being interviewed, so it's nice to see you here, brother. And thank you for being on. Then Vian Naidu, everyone, thank you. So let me just check who else is on here. Okay, Van Heerden, invite you. So guys, just please like, follow, and share. Mary says ratio between males and females. Again, Mary, you're 100%. China had a philosophy because of the one child policies. They had more boys and kids. So waaroor praat jy? So Joanne, I talk around business, I talk around life, I talk about so tonight was just a fireside chat. I share my story, inspire people, bring people hope. However, it's mainly on the news, what's happening in business now. Tonight we touched on all of these big corporates that are closing down. Then we spoke about relationships and love, and then we ended up on a topic on what is a gentleman and what's a lady, and does that still exist? Hello, Garfield. Nice, Miss DJ. Nice to have you here. So, does that still exist, John? What do you think, John? Can one still open a door for a lady? Opened the door the other day for a lady, and she said, "Ach man, I can do this myself. You don't need to open my door." And I'm like, okay. So, can that still be happening? And what is a lady? What is the definition of a lady, and do we still need that type of thing? A lady and a gentleman still exist to this day. Probably just in South Africa, Joan. Probably just in South Africa. Joan, I appreciate you being here, man. Thank you for communicating. Nicole Badenhorst, also nice to have you here. Thank you for joining, Rochelle. So, yeah, Mary is all the way from Ireland. An interesting thing is we are all I'm on 11 channels tonight, from TikTok to, just so everyone know, to Rumble, Facebook page, Facebook profile, Twitch, and YouTube, and Instagram, and TikTok. So we quite live everywhere. Sam, let's see what he says. Okay. Sam says, a real woman handles herself with love and grace, unconditional love and strength, is religious, supper for the family, by never forgetting that you are number one. And she says it's still important to open the door. Hello, Ines. Nice to have you here, Ines Neyman. Thanks, Joan. Appreciate your commenting. But yeah, beautiful set, Sam. That still exists today. But anyway, it's half an hour. I'm not going to go on too long. I just want to keep the momentum going. Joan, if you're still there, one reason I started this is I will still find my groove of my process of doing it. I just don't want me to break momentum. I say to myself, I will do 3 lives a week, right? And so I'm here being live and having a fireside chat. And so over a period of time, I will have more chats as I go on, and I will have more invites and interviewing people as I go on. And I think that's the thing, is to keep that momentum going. Just to give everyone an idea. So the lifetime of my YouTube channel, so let's say 10 years, is 180,000 views of all my videos. I haven't been that active. I'm now just using YouTube, for example. And this last month, just by having these live videos, I already generated 50,000 views in 1 month. So a quarter of what I did my channel in a lifetime, just by having these lives and having a handful of people on, because there's a lot of people that watches it again, really has impacted. Now, I could just imagine if I keep doing this, where I would be in a year. And so people can follow that journey and see, yo, what happened in a year. Okay, so now William just posted something big on Facebook, but it's just all about, in his mind, what is love, etc. So yeah, that is me in a nutshell. Thank you for your time. We appreciate you. Thank you for you, Sam. Hugs to those boys. And thank you for them for doing the photos. I really appreciate it. I shared it on my WhatsApp status as well. So I appreciate that. Okay. So I just want to check any last questions. Otherwise, I'm just going to call it a night. I have a very busy day tomorrow, and I'm glad that sometimes we can. All that I can say, let's think about what I can say. What quote would you love? Would you love an inspiration for today and tomorrow? Should I share with you something? I'm just now thinking about what should I share? Should I share a story? Should I share some hope? And Mary Seppert says, well done, Gobes. Thank you, Mary. Okay, so I'm going to check, right? A motivational story for you guys tonight, right? Story, metaphor for this week. Okay, so let me tell you a story. So hopefully it's an inspirational story, and it's actually the blacksmith and the sword. You see, there was once a blacksmith who took on a challenge on forging a sword with a great warrior. He chose the hardest piece of iron he could find. See, the piece looked very rough. It was a little bit unshaped, a little bit crooked. It was actually other blacksmiths, when they would look at it, they found it actually as useless. It was not. It was a useless piece of metal, right? And like a lot of people have that thing about metal. And so the day after that, the day after that, he placed it into the fire. Each time he pulled it out, he struck it with his hammer. The iron bent and cracked and sparked. Anyone watching might have thought he was destroying it, but the blacksmith knew. Only through heat and pressure does raw iron transform in something of strength. This, I can't say the name because I see I got a violation from TikTok, but this beautiful element was resisted in the fire. It resisted the hammer. But the blacksmith kept going, and slowly through the burning, the breaking, and the reshaping, a blade emerged. When the process was complete, the once unremarkable lump of iron had become something so sharp and strong that it even could split a stone in two. You see, the lesson out of this is that this week life may feel like the fire. The hammering might come through pressure at work, silence at home, silence and ghosting from clients, challenges in relationships. It will feel unfair. It will feel painful. But it's not meant to break you. It's there to meant to shape you. Like that iron, you are being forged into something greater. Each trial removes the weakness. Each strikes reveals your edge. And if you stay in the process, you will come out not just surviving, you will be unstoppable. So for this week, when you feel the fire, don't run from it. Stand firm. Trust that you are being sharpened. And remember, as that I can't say the word, is W word, is useless until it has been through the fire. Ladies and gentlemen, have a beautiful night. And thank you for jumping in and listening. Sending you all hugs and loves. And yeah, till tomorrow, the day after, I see you as soon as I see you. Hugs from Cobus Visser. Cheers.